All right, welcome to what will be a very short video here. Feeling pretty black-pilled. Really been enjoying the first couple weeks of Trump admin, but starting to see some things that just look like some of the same old script being played out in front of us. And it's still pretty early, so we'll see. There's a part of me that is saying, hey, everybody, let's not get too comfortable. The empire's going to strike back, for one, and for two, I think there's a lot of us out there that suspect there may be some pretty catastrophic event that they have planned for us, regardless of what Trump is doing and Musk is doing and all that. And I can't help but be concerned that maybe some of that is closer than a lot of people think. So I put a few thoughts down. It's not my best work as far as writing, but I just was kind of throwing it down hurriedly, and I posted it the other day, actually February 5th, so yeah, just a few days ago. And it just, a couple of things sort of coalesced at the same time for me. And it's really, it's fairly outlandish, but I'm just gonna put it out there just for the official record, and so that we can at least acknowledge that if something completely insane does happen, I'm not the only one out there that is concerned about it. And so apparently, Trump is going to go to the Super Bowl tomorrow, and I'm, 99.9999% confident that that's going to go off without a hitch. And that is because most everything has gone off without a hitch, and everything is fine, and there's nothing terrible to report until something terrible happens. And I kind of compare it to the days prior to 9/11. I wasn't really politically engaged, so I don't have a good feel for that. But the day that it happened, I know that there were a lot of people that were really, really shocked because they didn't see it coming. And everybody was in their normalcy bias. And we just can't believe that these people are going to do something so catastrophic until it happens, and then we all live in a new reality. So I'm just trying to say that let's just keep that in mind as we go about our business, and let's see what happens, whether it's tomorrow. But here's my article. I'm going to read it real quick, and I might have to pause every now and then. I'm getting over a cold, so I got this tickle going every so often, and sure enough, it's kind of rearing its ugly head as soon as I start talking here. But we'll see how we do. So if I pause for a few seconds every now and then, it's just me getting a drink of water or putting in a cough drop or something like that. All right, so basically, here's the article. It's real short. I'm going to read. Trump set to attend the Super Bowl. Is it a setup? I know that we're all basking in the glorious success of the first couple weeks of the Trump admin, and it has been awesome. I'm cautiously wanting to believe this will all continue and we will get our country back. If you read my writing here on social media or watch my videos on Rumble, you will know that I am beyond black-pilled. I've been shouting from the rooftops for years that the end is coming, and it has looked like it is closer than ever this last couple years. Trump at least seems to have changed our current trajectory, but why am I framing all of this short-term success so cautiously, and not as if our future success is certain? Why would there possibly be a shred of hesitation when every day he and his staff are absolutely bludgeoning our enemies, driving them into hysterics? It's truly been glorious and far beyond anything I've ever seen in my lifetime. Here's the catch, the what if, the possible fly in the ointment. Our overlords have come out and said, and have put in their publications, that they're preparing for a more angrier world. They've spent years attacking America from the left, even going so far as to push us to the brink of nuclear war just in the last couple months. What if it's now time to attack America from the right? In your world and mine, it's the right thing to do. Hold the bad people accountable, restore law and order, all of it. But these actions will have the same activating effect on the left, and just to point out, as their actions have done on us on the right, watching the Biden administration in the last 4 years just scorch and burn, the country. It will get them all riled up and ready to fight, just as the events of the last 4 years under the Biden admin pushed our patience and tolerance to the breaking point. What if we're marching towards a giant cataclysmic event that has already been planned and is about to be unleashed onto America? An event so big and so shocking, it will send this country into a tailspin. It will send shockwaves around the world, and it will pave the way for the conflict that the globalists need to usher in their Great Reset. Seem unlikely? Sure. Things are looking pretty good for our team right now. One of the points I've been making since Trump was elected is that all of this good that it looks like he is preparing for, and to an extent now doing, is just window dressing that is being allowed and planned for by our overlords to get our hopes up for their ultimate soul-crushing defeat of everything we believe in. What if it's allowed to come out just enough to show the world how bad everything has been here in America, how corrupt and out of control they've been? And I liken that to the, Lucy and the football. We feel like we're really winning right now. And we're projecting that winning forward to this end result of arrests and imprisonments and reduced budget and just all of these great things. But are we really ever going to see those things happen? We'll see. Time will tell. Okay, so what if precisely at that moment, their final catastrophic move is unleashed on humanity, and it all evaporates before we can ever really begin to enjoy the benefits of all of what Trump is doing right now? Sound crazy? I know. Like I always say, I hope I'm wrong. And I do believe there is a very good chance that what I'm about to reveal will not happen. But it's possible. The chance of it happening is not zero. So with all that, here are a couple data points, disclosure possibly, of methods and plans that can be summed up nicely by these two movies. And just watching the events unfold as they are is what brought these two movies to mind. Sort of a combination effect of what could happen in the near term, not the long term. First, and this is pretty obvious, Trump's planning to attend the Super Bowl this weekend. First time ever for a sitting American president, so it's got no precedent. Remember the movie Sum of All Fears? Nuclear bomb explodes at a football game. Right? Disclosure. Preconditioning, revelation of the method, call it what you want. And here's an example, like I mentioned in the intro. They told us over and over again before they blew up the World Trade Center towers, and nobody took it seriously except for Alex Jones if it was brought up prior to the event. America was shocked and horrified at something so extreme, so violent, so unexpected. Think about what you felt that day. It was unprecedented in American history. That can happen again. And if we don't stop these maniacs, it will happen again. And it will make 9/11 look small in comparison. That's my concern. And all the pre-programming of 9/11, right? So, they told us 9/11 was coming. We ignored it. We didn't take it seriously. And then one day we wake up and bam, people are jumping out of fiery inferno, the top of skyscrapers, 100 floors to their death. Just horrific. And remember the day before when Donald Rumsfeld came out and said they couldn't account for something like 2.1 trillion. So they came out and admitted some of their horrific crimes. That's what Musk and Trump are revealing now. All this disclosure, all this revealing, hey, this is what we've done, everybody. What are you going to do about it? Pretty extreme, right? And by 9/12, we'd all forgotten about that number, never to be looked into again. And the war on terror was off and running, everything the globalists needed to put America under 24/7 electronic surveillance. So they used an event like 9/11 to unleash the war on terror. They're going to use an event like a nuclear bomb blowing up in a football stadium to unleash the Great Reset and all the cataclysms that will lead us to that. That's my concern. So I'm sure many of you are shaking your head right now. This could never happen to Trump, and the many other excuses and denials. And I get it. I know it sounds crazy and it's highly unlikely, but you never know. If somebody had asked you on 9/10/2001, man, what if somebody's about to fly airplanes into those buildings and kill a bunch of people because of this political agenda? You would have rolled your eyes and said you're crazy. They could never do that. This is America. We've never been attacked on our homeland. Remember that? Are we days before something similar? All right, and here's the second piece, and an intro to the second movie that may come into play here. Let's for a minute suppose this is all scripted, that Trump is part of the plan and is playing his role on the Grand Chessboard. I know, all the diehard Trumpers, and I love Trump, I love what he's doing, but this could all be theater. If you can't hold that possibility in your mind, you're missing an important part of grasping potential reality. You have to be able to hold those two potential conflicts in your mind simultaneously. You can love the guy and be concerned about this possible reality being true at the same time. At least that's what I do. So part of the playing his role on the Grand Chessboard. I know many out there will completely refuse to believe it is even a possibility. Believe me, I don't want it to be a possibility, but I've studied the system that has been built around us for decades, and nobody really knows for sure who is who. We just don't. And if you think you do, trust me, you don't. So if he's part of the plan, why would he agree to have himself blown up? That's absurd. Obviously, he wouldn't. Correct, and he wouldn't agree to that. Enter the second movie that explains a bit more of their operating methods. The movie is Under the Silver Lake. There's a scene where a high-ranking official, I can't recall who he was or his title, but everyone knew who he was, and he was a big name in business or something like that. I mean, I could have dug it up to research, but really doesn't fucking matter. I mean, here's the point, right? Watch it for yourself. It's a good movie. It's worth watching. But he was clearly part of the system. The movie cuts to a television set with a newscaster showing a scene of a burning car that he was supposedly driving with two other people. They couldn't be identified. The car crashed. All three burned up in the flames. He wasn't in the car. And the other two bodies were like body doubles or homeless people, whatever, of young women that went into seclusion with him. That all gets played out in the movie. It's an interesting watch. So they stage accidents to get the players off of the Grand Chessboard. They run their mission. They exit them off the Grand Chessboard. It's like Matt Gaetz recently left Congress out of nowhere after failing at his bid for AG. And that's how they move the pieces off the chessboard. They retire off somewhere, maybe have plastic surgery, never heard from again. And in the case of Matt Gaetz, I mean, that's a different type of exit, but I think of people like Kobe Bryant and many other high-profile people. Michael Jackson. I don't know if they really died. Prince. I don't know. And neither do you. Epstein, we just know what we're told. And we try to find corroborating evidence to confirm it. And that's the best we can do. But I believe they use this more than we realize. All right, that's it and that's all. Cue the Civil War, the Mad Max breakdown of society, the complete madness, and all that an event like this would trigger. Not saying I think it's going to happen. I actually think the odds are very small that it will happen, but that is precisely the time to be vigilant and cautious. The recent success we're experiencing has us off our marks, thinking that as the fight is over, the sheriff's on the scene, when in reality we may be just a few days from absolute Armageddon. Just something to think about. Don't shoot the messenger. All right. So on that, I've got another point about that. We're seeing this play out, and watching. Oh, here, I'm just going to show you. I'm going to read this a post that sums it up pretty well, and this won't take long. Just a little, kind of ties in. So I posted this today, and the meme was, "Nobody will go to jail over the USAID scandal." Changed my mind, right? And I'll read through this and then close out with a couple comments. I know it's still early in this new paradigm of disclosure of all the theft in government. I'm already tired of hearing the endless stories of what it was supposedly used for. Starting to look like the same old con job. Release damning info that should lead to arrests. News pundits and Americans scream outrage. How could they? Look at this, look at that. Time goes on. Cue up next outrage. Rinse and repeat. We might end up reducing the budget, but until the new AG starts making arrests, I'm not falling for it. Some of us have known about the trillions that has been stolen from the U.S. taxpayer for a long time. We also know there is trillions hiding in offshore accounts for the decades of grift. I don't hear anyone in Congress saying or doing anything even close to holding the criminals accountable. I see more of the same phony hearings where Republicans get to belittle the guilty, but nothing more comes of it. It just feels like the usual echo chamber of outrage. I'll take it seriously when people start getting arrested and taken to Guantanamo where they belong. I'll be happy to be proven wrong and hope I am, but I've been waiting a long time for that. Okay, so on that, and yeah, it's early, so it could take a while for these next steps to manifest themselves if we get to that. But this is what they do, and the fact that everybody's showing all this outrage over all these just horrible waste. I mean, it's nice to see, but I'm not outraged because I've already been outraged for a long, long fucking time. I've known about this stuff. I don't need to read the endless lists. I've known it's there. They spend trillions of dollars of our money on nothing. They rip it off. They put it in slush funds. They put it in offshore accounts. This is nothing new. We should all nobody should be surprised at this. So why are we all running around on social media with this fucking outrage? Oh, look at this. Oh, look at that. Oh, look at this. Well, yeah, we knew that. Why are you surprised? And that's the play. And we all get wrapped up in the minutia of bitching about all the waste, fraud, and abuse that we should already know has been happening. We should be talking about next steps. Okay, so you found it. Good job. You did your job. We're holding people accountable. Now what? Now go do something. Now go do something concrete that changes the system and gets these people out of our system. Just get them out. Arrest them. They're all guilty. I don't want to see any more lists. I don't care. It's gone. And they've been doing it forever, and I already knew that. They're just verifying what I already knew. Now go get the fucking people that did this. And I've not heard one word from anybody about that. Who is going to prison? So, shake it off, folks. This is looking like a big old con. And I love, what was some of the stuff I've seen going around. Nancy Mace, I mean, she's awesome. Just yelling and screaming, belittling, and the guy's not answering. It's just more of the same bullshit. How many of these hearings are you going to watch and think we're actually getting somewhere? We're not. I want to see next steps. And if I don't start seeing that, this is all just bullshit, and we're being conned. And they're just lulling us down the path until the next thing, which is what I was writing about in that article. Is it a nuke at the Super Bowl tomorrow? I mean, I'm not going to be surprised when it doesn't happen, but if it does happen, I'm also not going to be surprised because mark my words, one day we're going to wake up, folks, and nothing is going to be the same ever again. Nothing. They're still in charge. They're still in power. They still have their levers on all the buttons, and I'm still black-pilled. And until I see concrete evidence that we're actually making some progress in this, not just exposing a bunch of stuff, say, hey, look what I found. People have been finding stuff forever. Every so often. It's a little bit more excessive now because they're in there really getting into the meat of it. But nobody's ever been arrested. Nobody's ever been held accountable. Nothing. So that's my point, man. Let's not get too carried away. Let's make sure we hold everybody accountable. I want to see, read my tweet. There. As long as we're here. Let's just take a second here. I'm going to go, I might have to log in. Shoot. Oh, no, I've got it on. I posted it on Instagram somewhere here. Oops, it was just post. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Let's just take a few minutes here. You want to restore the republic? Ah, crap. I got it on a reel. Damn it. Ah. Nah, this is what happens when you just kind of wing it. All right, bear with me. I'll find it here. I got to get on my other one here. I mean, what I'm about to list off, this is what needs to happen. Everything we're seeing in the media right now is just, it's noise. It's not signal. All right? So see the difference, folks. It's noise. Don't get caught up in too much of the noise to where we just day after day after day, and for the next 2 years, all we do is, read the latest outrage or thing that we should be outraged by. All right, here's what we need to do. And I left a couple things off it, some things Trump has already started. But here's what needs to happen before I start feeling like we got a shot at bringing our country back. And I don't know what the hell is going on with my computer here. Taking forever to load a damn tweet. What the hell? Man, I'm having all kinds of trouble tonight with this thing. Took me forever to... There we go. All right. Wish list to restore the republic. I'm sure a lot of you will agree with this. Some of you may go, oh, yeah, that sounds good. All right. 1, shut down the Department of Education. All right, it's easy. We'll see if it gets done. Repeal the 1965 Immigration Act and rebalance immigration standards. Yes, you got to get people out of here. And I like the beginnings of what I'm seeing. But until we take some legislative action and rebalance who we take in from where, nothing. This is just going to keep happening. So repeal the 65 Immigration Act, reinstate law banning use of propaganda on American citizens. When Trump got in 2016, I was watching for him to do that. He didn't do it. Obama created it. Trump didn't undo it. That's a tell to me. Why didn't he undo it? It's such a big part of the agenda to soften people up and to get them to the point of civil war and violence. And he didn't do a damn thing about it, and he knew damn well it was there. All right. Return free speech to Americans on social media. No shadow banning. Deleting accounts for bogus claims of violating community standards. We all know it's censorship. Audit everyone in Congress. There's the big one. Audit everyone in Congress over the last 50 years and identify and confiscate all offshore and hidden accounts and return those tax dollars to the U.S. citizens. Assign responsibility to DOJ. That's what Elon should be working on. I get all these other things need to be done, but he's just got us in the weeds about piddly little shit. I don't give a fuck about $50 million spent on condoms in Gaza. Yeah, it's bad. Yeah, it sucks. Let's go after the people that did this. Stop waving around shiny things that get us all distracted. So that one's big. Number 5, 50 years, folks. They've been stealing us for a long, long time. Past, present, retired, estates, dead, alive, I don't care. Get the list, everybody that's been in Congress, and go after the money. And let everybody know that wants to run for Congress, this is what you're going to be subjected to. You're going to be audited. And if we find anything, a nickel where it shouldn't be, you're gone. Close most of our military bases in Europe and elsewhere, bring those troops back and station at the border until the gangs and cartels are completely destroyed. Purge the CIA and FBI and other agencies of all personnel that has worked to undermine America. Also audit their finances and confiscate all offshore and hidden accounts. Again, task DOJ at this auditing. Okay, so they're starting this. They're purging some of the personnel, but they're just going to let them walk out? I personally know of people that have like a family member or a in-law or whatever works for the FBI, and they're wondering on an FBI salary, building big houses, building a second house, taking big long vacations. Where's all that FBI money coming from? A lot of dirty people there, folks. And again, ruthless accountability. It's our money they've been stealing. I want mine back. At the end of all this, I want a fucking refund for decades of my tax dollars that have been ripped off, ripped out of my account without my approval, and stuffed into somebody's fat offshore account. Fuck these people. We need to be ruthless in our persecution of them. All right, and this one's kind of, fun, feely good thing that Trump's been talking about. Work with Canada to annex Alberta and any other Canadian province that is tired of being under the socialist boot of the eastern provinces of Ontario, Quebec. I got a buddy from Canada, been down here a long time, and he's like, oh yeah, Ontario, Quebec, forget about it. They're lost. They're commie states. But Alberta is pretty, agreeable with U.S. and whatnot. So that's where that came from. And then this is me. It's like, hey, let's go further. Annex Northwest Yukon territories and land all the way to the North Pole. Create a contiguous corridor up through Alaska and the North Pole. Just own it all. It's ours. You set foot on it, and we're going to fucking blow your head off. This is our territory. This is our land. This is for us. And anybody that comes in it is going to be subject to you name it. Enough already. Enough of the just craziness, folks, we've been living under for 60, 70 years. It's just crazy. It's got to stop. And Trump's taking baby steps compared to what he needs to take. And I'm all for it. I love the baby steps he's taken, but it's nothing compared to what needs to be done. All right, arrest any public official or private citizen that interferes with the arrest of any illegal alien. I heard that Bondi's going to, put out subpoenas, however it was framed. Anybody that interferes, any of the mayors, whatever, interferes with what they're doing, they're going to be arrested. So that may actually happen. That'd be awesome. Cut off all funding to any state with active sanctuary city policies. These are unconstitutional acts. I heard that's happening and it's already in play. Cut off all funding and subsidies to any public university that engages in subversive indoctrination of this country's students, DEI, critical theory, anti-American propaganda, etc. That needs to happen. There's a little bit starting with the DEI, but it goes much further than that. Set tariff goals to significantly reduce the amount of income tax Americans are forced to pay. Expose the many, many crimes of the Democratic Party and have it outlawed. It belongs in the ash heap of history along with the Nazi Party. Everybody knows how corrupt it is. What are we waiting for? They have everything, right? Isn't that one of the Q posts? We have everything. All right, you have it. Go for it. All right? We've waited long enough. They're going to blow the fucking planet up if we don't act quickly. Apply the same standards and audits to all current and past governors of every state for the last 50 years. Consider doing the same for all mayors of cities over 1 million people. Another Doge responsibility. And this gets into the election theft. These big cities, there are no blue states. There aren't. Get the election integrity back, and it's over for the Democrats. It's fucking over. And these Democrats get into these cities, and they just, the grift, it's all the same. This is not just in Congress. This is not just our national politicians. This is at every level. The shit needs to happen. We are choking by the corruption of these maniacs. They've been put in charge incrementally, one at a time, until they own the whole goddamn system. So it's got to go down to that level. And again, 50 years. Governor Abbott, you're getting audited. My state of Texas. You got a problem with that? Step aside. We'll find somebody that doesn't have a problem with that. And I bet your ass he's got a big fat offshore account that at a minimum, a good chunk of that COVID testing, tracing, whatever, in 2020 went into. Guaranteed. That's how they got Texas to agree to all the draconian lockdowns. $300 million for contact tracing went to Texas. Where's the fucking money? Where'd it go? I want to see it. I want proof. I want relentless audits. I want people to attack like fucking animals, because that's what they've been doing to us forever. They've been running at us like vicious beasts, just ripping and shredding and chewing everything they can get their gritty little paws on for more than 50 years. But that's a good start. We need to respond in kind. Expel George Soros, anyone connected to him, and classify him as an enemy of the state. Confiscate any assets and accounts here in America. Most of it came from American taxpayers. You get the gist of some of this? I want my fucking money back. Pull all funding, support, and participation from the World Economic Forum and classify as a hostile entity and make attendance to any WEF event or training illegal. End Operation Mockingbird in the media in Hollywood. Get the CIA out of all news, media, and entertainment. Release all hidden and suppressed advanced technology. We, the people, can handle the truth. Release all suppressed and redacted official records that expose the criminality of the subversive elements of our government, up to and including past presidents, Democrat or Republican. All this redacted stuff, it's not for national security. It's to protect the guilty. I'm so sick of hearing that. There's more, but I'll stop here. None of this is outrageous or illegal or unnecessarily harmful to anyone that hasn't been involved in the corruption that has taken over this once great country. All of this is what any sane and honest leader would do, whose job was the preservation and improvement of American society. We need to be ruthless in holding our elected officials accountable. That's it, and that's all. That's where I am. So, and watching the last couple of weeks, as much as I have enjoyed it, that's what's gotten me riled up. Everybody just in their celebration, and we're just scoreboarding, and just yeah, we got it, we got them on there. Just all the usual crap. They're throwing us red meat, and we're falling for it. This agenda is what, until I see it, I'm not convinced any of it's real. So we need audits. We need money sucked back into America, our money, and we all deserve to get a good chunk of that back. I mean, there's trillions, folks, tens of trillions or more. It's ours. They stole it from us, and we need to go after it and get it back. And I'm telling you, man, Trump's off to a good start, but it's a fraction of the ruthlessness that he needs to show going after these people. He's the president. He can do it. And if he's got the right people around him, he can do it and get away with it. He can go to the Supreme Court and tell those 5 supposedly conservative justices, look, you fuckers, here's what I'm going to do. And you get in the way at all, there's going to be hell to pay. And you call it whatever you want. Intimidation, I don't give a fuck. Regular rules of order no longer apply. They've been coming after us with the do what thou wilt, law of the jungle, ends justify the means for decades. They've ripped us to shreds. When do we get to start fighting back? And again, what I've seen from Trump is a good start. And he just needs to keep going. And I'm going to probably watch part of the Super Bowl tomorrow just because Trump's going to be there. And I want to see the fans go crazy for him because they're going to love the fact that he's there, even though the media is trying to say, oh, Trump's ruining the Super Bowl. Oh, it's just, why is he there? Just the usual, just media garbage, bullshit propagandist, fucking liars. After seeing what Trump has done the last couple of weeks, I am less patient and tolerant with these fucking loons on the left and the filthy commies that most of them are, and their constant lies and manipulation that unfortunately ignorant and whatever, fill in the blank people follow and believe. It's just time. It's time to take their voice away. They don't deserve a seat at the table. They don't deserve to be at the center of our culture. We need to push them back to the fringes where they once were when our culture was strong and healthy. When God was in the middle of our culture, not Satan. We need to get them out. And that's going to take we the people standing up at times and pushing them. Get the fuck out. Don't kowtow to them. Don't engage. Just get the fuck out. Call me whatever you want. I don't care. We've given them our country. We've given them our culture. It's time to take it back. And on that, I'm going to wrap it up. So happy Super Bowl Sunday tomorrow. I hope you all watch it and try to tolerate the commercials and whatever. I really don't give a shit. I'm only watching it because Trump's there. And I'll be annoyed as hell through most of it. With the commercials and the idiots and every time Kelsey catches a pass, they're going to pan up to Taylor Swift. I don't give a fuck about any of them. Bread and circuses. They're there and they know they're there to distract us. They're part of the problem and they laugh in our fucking faces about it. When are we going to wake up, people? They are not our friends. All right, now I'm going to sign off. Till next time. Later.